Welcome to the MS Sensation Show. We're here to take you on a journey through the whimsical, often bewildering world of living with multiple sclerosis. You know that feeling when your foot falls asleep? It's like your body is playing a prank on you, right? That pins and needles, I can't feel my toes thing? Yeah, that's hilarious, right? Well, imagine that sensation, but it doesn't go away after a few minutes. Except when it happens every day. It's like your body has a mind of its own and it's not always on your side. Welcome to my life with multiple sclerosis, where my nervous system thinks it's a stand-up comedian, and the punchline is my body. Every day is a new adventure in unpredictability. Let me tell you, the jokes just write themselves. 1 minute, I'm fine, enjoying a walk in the park. The next, my leg is tingling like I'm wearing a disco ball made of angry fire ants. It's like my body is throwing a surprise party and I'm the guest of honor. Or maybe my arm decides it's a sunburn, even though I've been inside binge-watching reality TV all day. It's like my nerves are playing a game of charades and I'm always guessing wrong. MS is all about the immune system attacking the protective covering of nerves, like a toddler with a crayon scribbling on your walls. But instead of cute drawings, it's chaos and confusion. Except in this case, the crayon causes weird, wacky, and sometimes downright painful sensations. It's like living in a surrealist painting where nothing makes sense. But hey, at least it's never boring, right? Every day is a new chapter in this unpredictable story, and I'm here to share it with you. I remember the first time I realized something was seriously weird. My foot had been asleep for like a week. I figured, must have slept on it funny. But it didn't go away. It was like my foot had joined the witness protection program and forgotten to tell me. Then came the burning. Oh, the burning. Imagine someone replaced your blood with hot sauce. That's what it felt like. Except, invisible. And coming from inside. One time I was convinced my wife was hugging me in the middle of the night. Turns out, nope, just my MS deciding to throw a phantom hug party on my arm. Romantic, right? So why does this happen? Why does my body think it's in a constant state of sensory overload? It's like my senses are on high alert all the time and I can't seem to turn them off. Imagine walking through a crowded city street, the noise, the lights, the people, it all becomes too much to handle. Why does my body think it's in a constant state of sensory overload? It's like my senses are on high alert all the time, and I can't seem to turn them off. Imagine walking through a crowded city street, the noise, the lights, the people, it all becomes too much to handle. I went to the experts, and let me tell you, even they sound like they're describing a sci-fi movie sometimes. Dr. Amanda Howitt, an MS specialist, explains it like this. The damaged nerves can misfire, sending signals to the brain that don't match what's actually happening. It's like my brain is receiving a distorted version of reality. So basically, my brain is getting pranked by its own wiring. Cool, cool, cool. This explains why I can be sitting here perfectly fine and suddenly feel like I'm being attacked by 1,000 tiny ninjas armed with sewing needles. It's a bizarre and often painful experience that can happen without any warning. Or why a light breeze can feel like sandpaper on my skin. It's as if my nervous system has a mind of its own, deciding to overreact to the most mundane stimuli. My nervous system is a drama queen. What can I say? It's always looking for ways to make a scene even when there's no real danger. Living with this condition means constantly navigating a world that feels unpredictable and overwhelming, but humor helps me cope with the absurdity of it all. Section 4. Misdiagnosis mishaps. From carpal tunnel to ghostly tickles. The best, or worst, part of all this is that it can be tricky to diagnose. I mean, how do you explain to a doctor that your leg feels possessed by the spirit of 1,000 itchy crickets? I've been down the misdiagnosis road a time or two. Carpal tunnel? Nope. Just my MS having a field day with my wrists. Shingles? Nah, just my skin deciding to throw a burning sensation party for no reason. One time I swear a doctor looked at me like I was speaking Klingon when I tried to describe the feeling of ice water being poured down my spine every time I laughed. Section 5. Fighting fire with laughter? Remedies gone hilariously wrong. So how do you manage these wacky sensations? Well, there's medication of course, but then there are the other things. The things you try when you're desperate and maybe a little delirious from lack of sleep. Yoga, for example, sounds relaxing, right? Not when your limbs are already rebelling against you. Let's just say I've gotten stuck in some interesting positions. Then there was the time I tried acupuncture. I'm pretty sure the needles just confused my nervous system even more. It was like adding more Christmas lights to an already overloaded circuit board. Look, I'm all for trying new things, but sometimes, the best medicine is just laughing at the absurdity of it all. Section 6. MS Life Hacks. Because sometimes you just gotta laugh and wear oven mitts. Living with MS is like being on a never-ending game show where the prizes are weird sensations and the host is your own immune system. It's a daily adventure filled with unexpected twists and turns where you never quite know what to expect next. But you know what? We find ways to adapt. We become masters of improvisation, turning everyday objects into tools of survival. My fellow MS warriors and I have developed some creative coping mechanisms. We share tips and tricks, laugh at our own expense, and find joy in the little things. One friend swears by wearing oven mitts when her hands are extra sensitive. It might look a bit odd, but it works for her, and that's all that matters. Another uses frozen peas as stress balls for her feet. It's a quirky solution, but it brings her comfort and relief. Me, I've embraced the art of distraction. When the sensations get too overwhelming, I turn to loud music or funny movies to drown out the symphony of weirdness happening in my own body. It's all about finding what works for you and sticking with it, because at the end of the day, even though MS can be a real pain, literally, it's also a reminder that life is too short to take everything so seriously. We have to find the humor in our situations and embrace the absurdity. Sometimes you just gotta laugh at the absurdity of it all. Laughter is a powerful tool, and it helps us cope with the challenges we face. And maybe invest in a good pair of oven mitts, because in this unpredictable game show called Life with MS, you never know when you'll need them.